Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. I'm looking forward to doing this sort of bubbly looking puzzle called 6 by Tidepool Salts, whose debut it'll be. But first of all, I am going to revisit a puzzle I did on Monday, which, as many people pointed out in the comments, incorporated a logical leap that I was not entitled to make quite early in the puzzle that made the puzzle significantly easier. So I'm going to go through how you could solve that whole puzzle logically. And therefore, if you want to just focus on this puzzle and its rule set, I'd suggest you jump forward about 10 or 12 minutes. I don't know quite how long it'll take me to go through bis repetita. So I will be doing that. Now, how did I make the mistake? Well, Samuel Johnson once replied to a question about an error in his dictionary with ignorance, madam, pure ignorance. And in my case, I guess it's stupidity, madam, pure stupidity. I just didn't think something through. So this time we will get it logically correct rather than lucking into the solution. Now, before I do that, Simon and I, and this might help with my not making logical leaps that I'm unentitled to, have solved a puzzle jointly together over the wires. We're going to show that on Patreon because it's a complicated rule set. That's why we did it together. It's a puzzle you have to solve in 3 different ways, which is really interesting. It's by a constructor called Dad Jokes. We have featured him on the channel before, and it is brilliant. So we'll be posting that on Patreon soon if we haven't already, and do check it out. Do join us on Patreon. It's always good fun. There's still a few days left to enter linked sudoku. And if you're interested in our apps, well, we've been filming. The other thing we've been doing is live streaming. So we did 5 puzzles from the 500k app on Monday in a live stream. You can look at that on the channel if you want. And we will be doing more of that at some point. The 500k app itself, you can get hold of. If you follow the link in my description field to the apps, that'll take you to our website and you can click all of the apps there and get them in whatever format you like. The Cracking the Cryptic app, which is our newest one, is the one in which you can download the 500k puzzles. There's 23 of them, or Prasanna's 7 brilliant introductory puzzles to our various rule sets in our other paid apps. Anyway, these are all in the links under the video. I will put a link to both 6 and bis repetita, and we will have a look now at bis repetita. Another mistake I made. I think I put in the title that it was called bis repetitia, which was my poor Latin. Again, ignorance, madam. But how should you solve this? Now, what I did was, can't remember the colors I used, but I identified that this 12-cell line had to have 6 different digits. Sorry, the rule set here was normal Sudoku rules apply. All digits appearing on an orange line are repeated on this line, and the number of times they're repeated on a line is the same for all the digits on that line. So if there was a 2 on the line 3 times, then every other digit on the line would appear 3 times. So this was a 12-cell line with 6 of the cells having to be different in box 2. So that's clearly 2 repeats of 6 digits. These over here were 9-cell lines, and that means they have to be 3 sets of 3 digits. These were 8-cell lines, I think. I can't remember the colors I used originally, and that, in both cases, they have to have at least 3 different digits, and therefore that's 2 sets of 4 digits to make up the 8 on the line. Then I looked at this one, and I said, 4 digits in box 4, 4 digits in box 7, 4 digits in box 8. They must all be the same 4 digits that repeat 3 times. And I worked on that basis, and that was dumb. Because, as many people pointed out, and thank you to the people who just thumbs up a version of this rather than writing their own comments saying the same thing, this could be a line of 6 digits repeated twice each. There's nothing to stop that being the case. And I didn't notice that. And I was lucky that it wasn't, but unlucky in a sense in that it meant I didn't give a logical solve, which I'm going to do now. So let's first of all have a look at 8s. Those 2 8s mean there's an 8 somewhere up here. So 8 must appear twice on the blue line, we learn. We've got a 4 there and a 4 there. That's the only other repeated digit in the givens. Now, this can't be a 4. Why is that? Because this line has 3 sets of 3 repeated digits, and since 4 can't be in those 3 digits, 4 is not on the line, therefore it can't be here. So one of those two is a 4. And that's only so much use. Now, it's worth thinking more about this line though, because it's got a 6 on it. Therefore that 6 must appear 3 times. Once there, but that rules out all of those cells. Once in this box, and therefore once here on the end. Now we get a 6 here. So 6 in box 2 is now forced into one of those 3 cells. What does that tell us? Right, also 6 has been forced off these cells. Now on this 8 cell line, those 4 are different, and they must be repeated in these 4 cells. And now we've learnt there's no 6 in those cells. So there's no 6 here either. We can see from the given 6 there's no 6 here, so the 6 in box 1 is on one end of this line or another. And something that really is worth noting in this puzzle is these 2 cells. And I think I did notice this actually when I was solving it. Where do they appear on the blue line in their repeat version? Well, not in row 1, not in box 2. So those 2 cells, and let's give them a little yellow flash, must be these 2 cells. And that is quite useful. So now I'm going to start wondering about where 3 appears in its repeat version on this line. Well, we know that's one set of the 4 digits, and that's the other set. So 3 is in one of those 3 places. But if 3 was in one of these 2, would there be a 3 on the blue line? Well, yes, there would, because these can't be a 3, and now those couldn't be a 3, so there'd be a 3 in one of those cells. But where is that going to repeat on that blue line? It can't be in any of those because of the 3 we're positing up here, and it can't be in those cells because they're repeats of these cells, which can't be a 3. So in fact 3 cannot be in those 2 cells, and we can actually place a 3. I mean, I did something a bit like that but later in the solve, and it's quite difficult, but I think it's necessary in the clean solution path, which actually works and which is genuinely correct. Now it's quite interesting to note that this yellow, given the places for 3 in columns 1, 2 and 3, the yellow line can't have a 3 there or there. Therefore it can't have a repeated 3, and therefore it doesn't have any 3s. So these aren't 3s. One of these 2 sets of digits must be. Now 3 can't be in those 2 cells. It can't be in those 2. It can't be there. It can't be in these 2, which repeat in the top 2. Well, the starting point of that is that 3 can't be in any of those 4 cells by Sudoku or that one. Because it can't be in the blue-yellow cells, it also can't be in there. So 3 also can't be in those 2 cells. And now I'm beginning to wonder, can 3 be on the blue line at all? Well, it could be. It could be in one of those and repeated there, or it avoids the blue line by being in that cell and therefore in one of these 2. And I'm not actually sure what the answer is there, so I'm not going to try and answer that. Let's think of something else to do instead. Let's think about where 8 goes down here. No, that's wrong. Let's think about where 8 goes up in box 1. 8 is not in those 4 cells, so it's not in these 4 cells on that line. 8 has got to appear once more on this line. Can this be an 8? Yes, I think it could be. What am I missing here? I failed to do some good thinking about 8s. Let me try again. What else are we meant to do with 8s first? I cannot remember now. So 8 can't be there. Eight's not on this line, so 8 is not in those cells. Oh, right. So if there was an 8 here, you'd get an 8 here. But now there's nowhere for 8 here because of the blue-yellow repetitions and 8 not being able to be on this line. So that doesn't work. So 8 can't be there, and it can't be there. Now, can it be on this line? Then it can just. So I'm not quite sure what I'm missing. I am missing something about 8. If 8 was there. If 8 was in one of these two cells, yeah, that doesn't work. That's really interesting. Right. 8 cannot be in one of these two cells because then it would already repeat on this line twice, and it can't do a third one. And yet 8 can't be in those cells by sudoku if it's in one of those two, and it's not allowed to repeat on this line again. So there'd be nowhere in box 4 for it. Wow, so it can't be on those cells. We've worked out it's not in those. It can't be here because there'd be nowhere for it in row 2 in the end. And therefore 8 is in one of these two cells and not here. That means this is an 8. Now this box also is interesting. 8 is going to be in one of, 8's clearly going to be in one of the yellow flash cells because it's in there. That's where its repeat is. Now, what's happening in box 6? Where's 8 here? Can't be in those 3 at the bottom. It's not able to be on this line because we know from box 5 that doesn't have an 8 on it. And it can't actually be on this line. And that's because how could you get 3 8s on this line? One there is possible, but that then rules out all of these cells from being an 8, and you can't even put one there because 8 in this box is confined to those two. So you'd never get 3 8s on this line, so it doesn't have any 8s on. Yeah, one way of seeing that is that those 3, which must form one of the groups of 3, cannot have an 8 on. So, or a 6 for what it's worth. But anyway, 8 can't be in those cells, so it must be in one of these two in box 6. And that fixes where it is in the yellow-blue flash cells. I mean, I think this is pretty tricky. I really do. Now those two are going to be the same, but we've got 8s placed there. We're going to need an 8 in one of these two, but we know it can't be on the green line. We've just worked that out from these cells. So therefore the 8 in this column is down at the bottom. 6 also can't be in those cells, so is not on this green line. Therefore, none of these can now be a 6, and we can place 6 in box 9. There it is. Now, 6 and 8 are going to be in these 3 cells somewhere. Not sure if I know which is which. No, I'm not sure if I know. So, what shall we do next? I'm not 100% sure. Right, there's no 3 on this line because it couldn't be in any of those cells, therefore it couldn't repeat. So that's not a 3. Those aren't 3. That's not a 3 because it repeats here and that would break that. So 3 in this column has to be in one of these two cells, and we've previously worked out it's not there, I believe. Just want to check the logic for that. Yes, because you can't get another 3 on the yellow. So this is 3. It's not on this green line now. Maybe we worked that out before, but it's definite now. So it's not in those cells or on that green line or there. So we can place 3 in box 5. Then we know it's not on this line because it's not here. We know it's not on that line. Don't we? I'm pretty sure we do. Haven't I just worked that out? Can't be there or there. It would be here, repeating in that one and repeating there. Okay, I'm not going to rule that out. Maybe 3 is there. But we've also got 3 in one of these two positions in column 5. Now, if it was there, we'd have no 3s on the blue line. That's perfectly possible. If it's there, we've got a 3 somewhere up here. Again, that also looks possible. Not going to have a go at that. So, I can't remember what to do next. Right, 4 has to be on this line somewhere here. Probably not helpful. We know that that's repeating on the line at least twice, and it might be 3 times. 976. This is 2 or 5 by Sudoku. Can we tell which? We do need 3 7s on this line, of course, because of that 7 there. So we're going to get 1 in this box in one of those 2. Then one of these 3 has to be a 7. Not sure how to use that. These other numbers that can't be 7, 5, 8 or 6. I'd love to look at those cells and say they couldn't be 4, 3, 1 either, but I don't think that's necessarily a true conclusion. Okay, let's take it easy and let's think about 5 in... Right, 5 isn't on this green line because it's not in those 3 greens. Therefore, it's not in those cells. It's also not in these in box 6. So can it be on this line? Then it would be on one of those 2 as well, and somewhere here. I think that is possible. Can it be here? Then it would be on the blue up here. I'm just not sure. Sorry about this. I mean, I should really have done some preparation maybe. Wow. I mean, this is close, but I can't quite see it. Oh, 6. Right, 6 can't be on this line because it's not here. So 6 is placed here. Right, that does help with 5. It also gets 6 out of that, so we've got a 6 in one of those, we get a 6 over there. Never mind about that. What about 5 now? 5 can't be on this line because it's not in those, and it can't be there, so it is in these 2. Therefore it is in these 2, and then it is in one of these 3. Right, now does that get anything done? It means it's not in these blue cells. Now it could still repeat on the blue line by being here. Oh look, 5 can't be here. And if 5's in one of those 3 cells, where's 5 in this column? It's got to be in one of these 3. But it can't be there because it can't repeat here. So that's not a 5. So 5 is on this purple line. But also we've got an X-wing on 5s there. So the 5 on the purple line here must be somewhere up in the corner. There is no 5 now on the blue line. And what's that done? Right, let's think about 8 again. So we worked out there's an 8 in one of these 2 cells. What if on this line we need one more 8, and we've worked out it can't be there, so it's in one of these cells, the single 8. Right, let's try and figure that one out. If 8 was on this yellow line, 8 would have to repeat on the yellow line here. That's the only place that 8 could repeat on the yellow line. And then 8 would go here, and you wouldn't get any 8s on the line on which we've already got 1 8. There would be no possibility to repeat it. So 8's not in those cells, so 8 is in these. It's on this line, that's its second version on this line. That can't be an 8 anymore because there are only 2. and that is an 8 in the white cell up here. So this isn't. We've got an 8 in one of those two. That places 8 down here. We can get rid of the pencil marked 8 there, and there actually. This becomes the only place for 3 in the box. That's going to put 3 in one of these two cells. And do we know which one? Can 3 be on the line? No. If you had 3 on this line, it would be in that cell, and that would leave nowhere for it in these 3. So that's 3, again missing a line. We now know 3 is not on this green line, so it's not in those cells, so it must be in one of these two along with 8. That must be an 8-3 pair. That only leaves one place for 4 in the box, which leaves one place for 7. Let's see if those have any useful ramifications. 7, 3, 8, 6, 5. These are from 1, 2, and 9. So we need a 4 in these 3 greens. That's got to be here. We can't have a 4. We must have a 4 again in these 3 greens, and it can't be there, so we can place 4 up here. Now these need a 7 and whatever this is, 1, 2, or 9. But whatever this is appears here and here, so it can't be here. It must be here instead. 1, 2, or 9, and this is where the 7 goes. Now we've got a 7 in one of those two cells. I still would like to resolve this cell. I'm not sure I can at the moment. That's become 1, 2, or 9. I'm not sure that's going to help anything. Ah, 5 now has to be in one of those two cells in box 8. Therefore, this is now a 5-7 pair up here. We've got a 5 in one of those two. Oh, we've got 5 on this line. Right, with 5s in those positions, we can't get a repeated 5 onto this line because none of those are possible places for 5, and we can only have 1 there. So there are no 5s on this line. If there are no repeats, there are no 5s on it. Therefore, 5 in this box is somewhere in one of those 4 cells. Do I know which? I doubt it. 3, 9, 5, 7, right, we've got 6 there somewhere. These are from 1, 2, or 4. Sorry, this is taking a while longer than I'd hoped. Never mind, never mind. Let's plug on, because it's interesting to revisit a puzzle that I found relatively easy. 7 in this column has now got to be in one of those two cells, I think. 3 in the column. 3 is not on this green line, so it's not in those two, so that's a 3. Aha, that sorts out 3 in box 2. In fact, I think that's all the 3s in the grid that's suddenly done there. Okay, so what next? We've definitely got a 5 on this line. Something about 5s now, isn't there? Those are a 5 and either a 1, 2, or 9. So those are 2, and this is now 5, 6. Right, there can't be a 7 on this line because none of these can be a 7, for instance. So the 7 in the box is here. That's got to repeat on this line in one of those 3 cells. It's also now not on this line. I'm not sure if that proves anything. We get a 7 into one of these 2 cells, so that's a little X-wing, which tells us this isn't a 7, and there is a 7 in one of those 2. So 7 either repeats twice on the line only or no times on the line. Both of those are very plausible, assuming we haven't made an erroneous decision about the line already. Now, what can these be? They've got a 5 in. We can't have 7, 8 or 6. What about if 5 went here? Ah, yes, now we've got 5 confined to those two. If 5 went there, 5 would be here. This yellow couldn't have 1 anywhere. So there'd be no 5 there in box 4 or in box 7, but there would be a 5 on the yellow in box 8, and that's broken. That doesn't work. There'd be only 1 5, no repeats. So that's a 7, that's a 5. That makes that a 7. We said that's fine. We've ended up with a 5 here, and we've got a 5 here. And we know there's no 5 on this line because you couldn't get a repeat. Therefore, there's a third 5 somewhere here. But the key point about that is there's now 3 5s on the yellow, and now my original deduction that this is 3 sets of 4 is proven right, because we've definitely got 3 5s on it. So now I can go back to the thought about whatever these 3 are must appear in these yellow cells and must therefore be these 3 digits. But I think that doesn't actually add anything at this point to the solve, probably. And whichever one is not in this line is on this line instead, and is there, there, and there. Crikey, and I don't know. It's not a 1, is it, in those positions? So it's 2 or 9. 3, 7, 4, 6. So, just still need to resolve what's going on in this puzzle. Lots to do, but I mean, we've at least got to the point where it got manageable last time by knowing that this is 4 sets of 4. So, no, 4 sets of 3. So 6 is not on it. So 6 is not on these parts of the line. Therefore, these 2 digits are 6s. That makes this a 6. We've got the repeat on that line. This is now not a 6. Therefore, this can't be a 6. There's no repeated 6 on this line. There's no 6 at all on the blue line. That's a 6 instead. I think that's probably, that is going to do all the 6s. We get a 6 here. Now we've got 5s pointing down at this cell, which can't be a 5 anymore. So we get to put a 5 here on the line. That's not a problem. This is 2 on 9. Got 5 there, which is never on the blue line. The blue line consists of 3, 1, 8. 7 has to be somewhere on it because there's a 7 there. And these 2 can't be 7, so that's the other 7. And we can put 7 in the corner. This becomes 7. I've probably got all the 7s done now. So on this line we've got 3, 7, 1, 8. So we're going to need another 1 and whatever this is, which appears there and there. And then 2 or 9, which I don't know. No, I think that means these. Okay, what is the yellow cell? It can't be 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 4 or 5. It is 2 or 9, just like this cell down here. They could even be the same. In fact, since they appear there and there, they are the same. So let's put the yellow flash into those cells as well. It's this same digit is going to appear here. Let's just keep following it round. 2 or 9, it's in one of those 2. Sorry, I'm just going to highlight them again. Bit of colouring never did anybody any harm, which is Simon's motto. It's not on this other 3 cell times 3 line, so it's there as well. Now, it doesn't appear, therefore, on the yellow line, and that's crucial. That means it's here, and it's 9, and it's there. And all of those cells now must be a 9. There we go, and that is going to get us home finally. These aren't 9s, that's not a 9. That's not a 9. This is a 2, 9, 7, 3, 8, 1, 2. So we've got a 1, 2 pair in the top row. These are 5 and 4. That's 1 or 2 as well. This becomes 4. That's not, it's 1 or 2. Lots of 1, 2 pairs. Maybe we'll still have to do a tiny bit more colouring to figure them out. No, 5 and 4 there. Then 1 or 2 there. 1 or 2 here. 4 there. 4, 3, 9, 7, 1, 6, 1, 2. So 5 and 8 in this column. This must be a 1, 2 pair. That seems to be the theme now. The 5s can go in everywhere, I think. And these remain, and here's our 1, 2 that are fixing everything. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I've just spotted a 3, 8 pair. 1 here, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. That wasn't quick. Anyway, that was Monday's done properly, and my sincere apologies for messing it up, especially to Zelbulon. My apologies also to Tidepool Salts, who makes their debut on the channel today. And a plenty complicated rule set for me to go wrong in again, but I'm going to give it a go. We will see how we get on. Normal Sudoku rules apply. There are 13 hexomino regions throughout the white cells in the puzzle. So we're going to divide up the white area in the puzzle into 13 boxes of 6 cells, but I say box in a very loose sense. They're regions. Digits cannot repeat within a hexomino, and each hexomino must be different, by which I think that means a different shape. Small white dots indicate that 2 cells are in separate hexominoes and that the difference between them is 1. So they're crop key and they're a difference of hexominoes. Small black dots indicate that 2 cells are in the same hexomino and that the ratio between them is 2 to 1. So that's regular crop key dots again, but they're in the same hexomino, whereas these 2 are in different ones. Large white dots indicate that exactly 3 of the 4 cells surrounding them are in the same hexomino, 3 in one hexomino, 1 in another. And when these large white dots have numbers inside, these numbers must be in the cells immediately surrounding them. So there'll be 2 8s in these 4 cells. Large black dots indicate that all 4 of the cells surrounding them are in the same hexomino. Okay, so at least it's the same message from white dots and black dots. Black dots are always the same in the surrounding areas. And they've got the normal crop key meanings. We've got these quadruple meanings, so there's a 7 in one of those cells. I mean, I think this is an understandable rule set, if a little unusual. And hey, I'm going to restart my clock. Let's get cracking. So there's very few givens in the grid. I mean, I suppose that's a 1, 4, 6 triple. There's a 4 in one of the grey cells. That's not very interesting. There's a 3 somewhere up there. That's about it for the numbers. I'm going to have to think, okay, these 4 are all the same. I'm going to colour my regions. So they're in the same hexomino, but so are these 4. So they're all orange too. And there is one of the hexominoes. We've done one. Well done us. Going to cut it off with a line from our pen tool there. Now these have to form part of another pentomino, and it's got to turn because this is a borderline. The white cells, actually the white are so I'm going to draw a green line through all the white cells so that I remember. sorry, through all the white Kropki dots, the little dots, they're borders. That's what we were told. So this blue must come round here. That's its 5th cell. And then it either goes there or there. And the big white dots mean that 3 of the cells surrounding are one colour. So if this blue continues down here, well, that would put all these 5 in the same... Yeah, that wouldn't work, actually. That's really weird. I can see that straight away. Because these big white dots have the same message. 3 of the cells have to be in the same... I'll just show you what happens. So if I made them all green... Okay, let me explain it more carefully. If I made that blue, and that completes this hexomino, these 3 have to be the same colour because of the rule as regards this big white dot. Now, this big white dot has the same rule, and it can't have any more blues because we've finished the blues, so those go green. But this white dot needs an extra green down here, which is a 6th one. And this white dot needs an extra green here, which is a 7th one, and that's too big. So that is not right, and that is not blue, and the blue goes here and finishes. And yes, with hexominoes, I'm quite lucky. I associate all hexomino shapes, of which I know there are 35, with a number, because I used to have a game as a child called Multi-Puzzle. I think it was Spears Multi-Puzzle. And that featured all these hexomino pieces for jigsawing. And I learnt all the numbers. So what I've just done are an 11 piece and a 12 piece in that game. You don't care about that, but it helps me. It'll help me notice if I get a repeated piece. Anyway. Now we've done blue. Now, there's not any mega helpful black dots next to each other again. So going to have to do some proper thinking. Let's have a look at these 8s and 7s. Yes, of course, sorry. No, let's have a look at this white dot. It needs 3 of the same colour around it, so I'm going to make them yellow. Now, yellow can't have a repeated digit, so the 8s are not in those positions, they're in these positions. And the 7s now have to be in those positions. And the 7s are in another big white dot that needs a 3rd yellow, so that's yellow. This now needs another yellow and a different colour. And the different colour must be repeated in these 2 cells, so that's now red. One of these is yellow and one is red. Oh, and the yellow's got stopped up here by this boundary, because not only is this a boundary on the white Kropki dot, but the grey cells are a sort of boundary too. In fact, this is a different colour coming out here. It's clearly purple. Now, hang on, because one of these is yellow and one of these is red, and that makes both the white dots here work. But what about this one? This has got one yellow, and it's going to have another yellow. Because even if that's yellow, then yellow is going to have to continue here. So the 3 around this one are yellow. And in fact, that means this is not yellow, or you'd have 7 yellow in total. So that's red, that's yellow. One of these is yellow and completes this piece. Red continues there. Let's just do some line drawing that I hadn't done yet. Yellow is either going to finish in a piece I would call a 35 shape or a piece I would call a 14 shape. This white dot is going to have 3 reds around it because red has to continue somewhere. And once you get 2 of the same colour, you're going to get 3. That's the rule. So the last 2 reds are on this one. And there's a yellow here. Oh, and what about purple and this white dot? Oh, this is so weird. I don't know what's going on now. Okay, this white dot is fulfilled because as soon as I build out yellow, that must work. So I'll stop worrying about that. This one is going to have 3 reds and another colour. Now, could those be the reds? Then that's yellow. No, this isn't going to work. I'll show you how I can see that's not going to work, just so you can see. If those were the reds, and this is one of 3 possibilities around this white dot, but if those were the reds, this won't work. That finishes yellow. This is some other colour, let's call it green, that's building out from the corner. But it has to take 3 cells here. Now it's either going to take both of those or one of them and that one. If it takes both of them, that's going to be green anyway. So that is green. This just isn't going to work, by the way, because this one now, because it can only have 1 yellow, these 2 are going to have to be purple. Actually, that might be a simpler way of approaching this. And then this one is broken because those have to be green. So I could see that. It's a bit complicated though. Is there a simpler way of seeing that? Maybe focusing on this, which has to either have 3 purple around it, or the purple's going to have to snake away, and these would be a different colour. How can those be a different colour? I mean, a dark grey or something. Yellow would finish here, red would wrap around there. Yeah, it's just not going to work, I don't think. And I say that, and now I see a possibility of how it does. Okay, so not done yet. I mean, I think I worked out usefully that these can't both be red, because you can't get this out without breaking one of these 2 white dots. I think that's fair enough. I'm going to use it, and I did explain it. Anyway, if those 2 can't both be red, then the 3 reds around here must include that one. So that's red. And now whatever is here, and let's call it green, is going to have to escape through here. Now this white dot has 2 greens around it, so it's going to get a third. One of these 2 is red, one of these 2 is yellow. Oh, what about this dot here? Does that get 3 greens or 3 purples? I can see an argument for 3 purples. Oh, it's going to be about this. Right, green can't extend into that, because then it would, as soon as it hits one of these cells, it hits all 4, and that's too many. So green can't come into this. So these 5 cells, which have to contain the cells that finish off 1 yellow, 1 red, and 2 greens. Okay, that means these can't both be purple, or you couldn't finish off yellow, red, and both greens. Wow. Okay, so they're both green instead, and green is complete. So yellow finishes there, red finishes there. These shapes, that's the yellow shape is a number 14 in my old game. The red shape is a 23, and this green shape is a 32. It's weird how they stick in the brain from your childhood. Now, purple has to continue here. Now, that is obviously not green. All of these white dots have had their destiny fulfilled. Good. Ah, purple can't come into here. These are all one colour. So let's go orange again, because we haven't, no, let's go blue again for the, oh, I don't know, orange. There we go. So that's got to be orange. And then one other cell is orange. Purple is escaping through there. So orange comes into one of these 2. And then these are all going to be a different color again. So we'll go back to green over here because it can't meet the other one. Now, whatever isn't orange here is therefore green, and green gets one of these. Now, what about purple? Purple is going to continue either there or there. So this has two more purples around it. Oh, but those can't both be purple. They're in the same color. Could they be green? No, because one of these is green. This is a new color. We will go yellow again. One of these is green, one is orange. That's where green finishes, up here. Just doing some... Now, purple has to escape up here. And that's two purples around a white dot, so there's the third. Now we've got two yellows on this one, so that's yellow. We've got two yellows on this one, so that's yellow. Purple is finished. That's a 29 shape. So these two must be yellow, and that finishes yellow, which is a 24 shape. I mean, it's just coming together. That's so weird. I don't think I can finish off these two. I don't know which of those is green and which is orange. But now, okay, now this is going to bang into this black dot, and we've got 5 of those done. This is going to bang into this one. We've got 5 of those done. They're going to get one more each, and then we've got 2 more shapes to fill in at the top. I doubt that this 6-cell straight piece is going to be here. Oh, although that could be red, and then that could be actually that's possible. Maybe I need to think about... There's 2 more pieces to go after red and blue. So 2 of these black dots must join together, and maybe all 3. So if those 2 joined together only and then stopped short of that, then they'd have to take this 4 and one of these cells, and you'd have shut in an impossible area. That's not possible for there to be a border between these 2 cells. So these 2 are all in the same group, therefore. Let's make it yellow again. Now they could go on and take those. Where else, though, could they take their 2 cells? So blue's going to finish in one of those 2. The other one would have to be yellow. Red? Oh, this is going to have a 6th, 1 cell from a colour that is not the last colour. So these 2, which yellow and red can't reach, this is the last colour. Let's make it purple again. And one of these is purple, but the other one, it could be yellow there, but then you've shut in too few purple, so it's not. So the other colour is red there, so that red is a shape. Now for purple to get out, it's got to come out here, and it's got to look like that. And those are yellow, and that's blue. And there we go. This is a 31 shape, as I know it from multi-puzzle. And that means this green at the bottom is not allowed to be a 31 shape. And I can colour the last 2 cells. That's a 26 shape, and the orange is a 20 shape, as I would know it. Let's keep finishing off the lines just so you can see them. I mean, actually, lines might get in the way a bit, but that is the shapes of this grid. Now, we've done... I'm a bit baffled how we're ever going to fill this grid with numbers, because it's all very well saying digits don't repeat in the hexominoes, but we've got so few actual givens or clues. Like there's a 7 somewhere there, big whoop, Oh, okay. This is a set of the 6 black dot digits, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. In fact, they're grouped into, one of them will be a 3, 6 pair, one of them will therefore be a 1, 2 pair, and one of them will be a 4, 8 pair. So the 4 has to be in one of those cells. The 8 has to therefore be in one of these. These are from 1, 2, 3, and 6. That one can't be 3, so that can't be 6. It's not that helpful, and there's only that black dot to go. Okay, that's not 3, 6. So again, they're from 1, 2, 4, and 8. Oh, but I don't know. There's so few numbers. Yes, these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So these are 5, 7, and 9. Is that any use? I don't know why it would be. Ah, this white dot is in box 1 as well, and it needs an odd digit on it. Or, okay, more importantly, it needs an even digit, and it can't use 6 or 8 because their neighbours are all gone up here. And it can't use 4, so the even digit on that is a 2. That's so strange. It's either 1, 2 or 2, 3 there. I mean, there's so little information. There must be an 8 in one of these cells. That's got a white dot. I don't know how to use that. There's 1 down here. What do I do? There's got to be, oh, there's got 8 and 8. There's got to be an 8 here. Ah, okay. That's something. That means there's no 8 in the rest of the hexomino. So there must be a 2. Oh, that's a 1, 2, 4, 6 quadruple now. There must be a 2 here. There must be a 6 here. Oh, look, there's a white dot here. That's a 6. So that's not a 6. Does this form a sequence that I'm using? No. Might form a sequence that someone's using, but not me. Now, that can't be a 7. Ah, 8 and 6. That's an 8, 6 pair, not just an 8. So here we don't have 1. So 1 is definitely in those two. That's a 1, 2 pair. This is a 3, 4 pair that I can write in. See, there is progress to be made. That is really weird. One of those two is a 2. Oh, there's a 2 on this black dot, so we know which one is a 2. Do I know about this? It can't have 8, 7, 6, and it can't have 9 on. And it can't be a 1, 2 pair. So it is getting a little restricted. It doesn't feel like enough to do anything with. This is the most useless piece. It's all in one box. There's no white or black dots in it. It's rubbish. That'll be where we finish. That's my prediction. 6, 7, 3, and 8. We've got a 6 here. We've got a 6 here. So one of these 3 is a 6. That's so useless, I'm not even going to mark it. Wow, I don't know how to solve this puzzle. There's a 9 in one of those two cells because there's a 9 there and a 9 there. I mean, okay. So these are from 5, 6, 7, and 8. 7 can't be here because 7 in this box is somewhere in those cells. That can't be an 8 either. Ah, this can't be an 8, so that's not a 4 because 4 along the top always goes with 8. So now 8's in one of those two cells in the top row. I mean, that's not very nice pencil marking. It goes across a box, but it's still true. This is on a white dot with 1, 2 or 4, and it can't be 1. So 2, 3, 4 or 5. Am I missing something about this group? I feel I probably am. What do you do here? I'm going to have a quick look at this cell, which can't be 8, 7, 4 or 3. I wish I hadn't had a quick look at that cell now. It's as rubbish as the rest. Oh, we've got 7 in one of these 3 by sudoku. But the only way 7 could be in one of those is if that's a 7. Otherwise, there's already a 7 in this blue piece. And then that still wouldn't be a 7. I don't think this can ever be a 7. Yes, all 4 cells on this 7 see that cell. That's a really weird thing. So there's a 7 in one of those 2 places. I wish they both all saw something helpful as well, but I don't think they do. Three somewhere. Can that be a 3? I think it can. Either way, this could be 2 or 4. This can't be 8, 7, 4, and this piece already has 1 and 2 in. It doesn't feel valuable to mark that either. I'm really struggling to find anything we can go on here. This is so strange. Right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It can't be 8 because that can't be 7 or 9. Oh, and for other reasons because of where I've marked 4. So this can't be 9 or 8. But it is a black dot number. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6. And we are getting all the small numbers. Is that 7 or is that 7? Does one of them have to be 8? This can't be 8 because of the white dot, and that can't be 7 or 9. So that's now a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sextuple, and this is a 7, 8 pair. Much good may it do. Oh no, look, it does me some good. That's 7 because it's seeing an 8, and that's 8. That's weird. I think this is right. Not 100% sure. Now 5 is either there with a 4 here, then it would go, no, that can't be right. It would go 5, 4, 1, 6 and break that cell. So that is not a 5. So the 5 in the column is here. And this is 4 or 6 next to, on the black dot, either 8 or 3. 5, 9, 7. We've got a 1, 4, 6 triple, so this is 2 and 3 down here. That's not a 2, that's 1 or 4. Gosh, you can eke out progress in this puzzle. So we get a 2 in one of those places. That's not a lot of use. These can't have a 7 in though. Is that any use? No, it isn't. That's not a 7. I'm left none the wiser about 7 up here. 8, 4. One of these is a 6. I've known that for ages. This could be a 6 with a 3 there. Then we'd have 8 and 4 definitely here. These can't have 5 in. That's little enough. Okay, 6. Oh, 6 is there and there. It can't be here because that's in the same shape as another 6. So one of these two is a 6, which it's a bit surprisingly limited, but doesn't really do anything. Have I missed any dots? This one I haven't tried yet. All the others I've used up. So it's all about shapes now. So strange. This puzzle is doing my head in. This dot uses 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that because it can't be a 1, 2 because of that, and it can't use 8, 7, or 6. That one's obviously not a 3. So this can't be a 2. That's true. Now what? That's not a 3 anymore since we got this. It's not 6, 7, 8, or 1 or 2. It is a bit difficult to see the box boundaries now. I know that. Maybe I should have... Oh, I don't want to bother removing all the green lines now. It's too late. Now, there's no 4 in this shape. I kind of knew that anyway. That's not interesting. Maybe I have to focus on these. If I could sort out which was which up here, that would actually be a feather in the cap. Oh, this is either 6 or 9 by Sudoku. Oh, there's a white dot here. Have I even seen that lately? Right, this can't be 4, 6, 8, 9 in the row, 5 in the shape, or 7. That is 1, 2, or 3, so this is little as well. Can't be a 3 from there. So I'm going to put 1, 2, or 4. It can't be 4 because of this. So we've got so there's a 2 on it. That's not a 2. This is now 2 or 6. Come on, something here. There's a 2 on this. It's a 1, 2, 3 triple. So that's 5, 6, or 9. I don't think that helps. But let's keep thinking about this pair. I did miss a white dot. No. Oh. I was just wondering if whatever that is in one of those cells and therefore has to be in one of these 3, i.e. in one of those 2. Yes, okay, so that's not an 8-4 pair now. That's right. Whatever this is in one of those 3, has to be in one of those 2, so they're not an 8-4 pair. Ooh, just hit the wrong key. Those are not an 8-4 pair, so the 8-4 pair across the top are here. That might actually help much more than I was expecting. Or it might not. This is 1, 2, or 6. That's 1, 2, or 3. Now, if that was a 1, 2 pair, that would be 3. That would be 2, and that would be 1. Yeah, no, that's what it would be. Or is... No, come on, what about using this 8? That's going to put an 8 in one of those 2 cells. 4 we know about. 8 is... the 8 in row 2 is here. That looks like it doesn't tell me anything new. That's brilliant, isn't it? This red shape can't have an 8 or 4 in. So its digits are made up of 1, 2, 3, 5, or 6. Which, okay, and that has finally let me ask the question of where 7 goes in this box, and it's there. So that's a 9. So they're not, they're a 5, 6 pair. 7 there, we get a 7 in one of these 2. Can't be in purple, which has already had a 7. Oh, wow. 9, 7, 4, 8. This is either a 5, 6 pair Well, it definitely includes a 5. So those don't include a 5. But I don't know about this one. Oh look, I've got a 1 in this box, so that's a 4, and that's a 1. That's not a 4. So this is 2 or 5, and this isn't a 5 now. This is a pair. So there's a 1 in one of these two cells, and that fixes this cell as a 2, and that one as a 1. Now there's definitely a 2 in one of these two. Oh, it keeps bouncing back like Tigger. This is hard work though. Now 2, 9 and 5. 2, 5 and 9 have to go in this box. And that means there's no 2 here. So there's got to be a 2 up here. So this is a 1, 2 pair. And this is 3 and 6. And I think that really is going to do some work. Surely, surely, surely. One of these is a 3. No, there's no 3 in orange. We've already got a 3 there. So that's a 3. That's going to give me a 3 in one of these two, which is an X-wing with 3 there. But 3 in column 9 is here. This is 6 or 7, but there's a 6, 8 pair looking at it. Oh, the 1, 2's done by the 1 below. That's not a 2. These are from 5, 6, 9 in useless green shape in the corner. Then a 1, 2 or 5. Come on, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's not stop here. That can't be 6 anymore. So that's 6 in the row. No, not 3 in the row. What about this shape? 8, 7, 6. Oh, it can't have a 3 in it. Oh, that's not the right way to think about this, what it can't have in it. 2, 3, 8, 1, 4 and 7 are in these cells. Just because I think this box is useless, I keep getting drawn back to it to see if it's really doing something suddenly, secretly, without telling me. And it never is, which serves me right. Now, this shape, 1 and 2. Oh, look, those two both see that cell, and it's a 5, 6 pair, so that becomes a 9. That's weird. And they both see all of those cells. So whatever this cell sees all of those 4. So whatever that is in one of those two and one of these two. Which I don't know how to use. I'm just going to fill in the candidates there. But I can see that this will finish now, which I had my doubts about before because I can't see the wood for the trees sometimes. I haven't forgotten any clues again. It's still this one. That's become a 1, 2. That's resolved. That's a 4, 5. I don't think I've forgotten any markings. It's just this one still to be resolved. Now maybe there's something I can do. 9, 1, 2. 4 and 8 have to be in this group of cells. 8 must be in the red. Is that any use? No, absolutely not. 4. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry if this is so obvious that it's just painful. It's quite painful for me too. 2 is in one of those. So that's done the 2 in red. That's no use. 7, 6, 1, 9, 3. 2. This is now 4 or 5. That's all it can be by sudoku. But I wish I could say that 5, 6 pair saw both bits, but it doesn't. This can't be 9, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's an 8 in one of those two cells. maybe this box, 4, 5, 6, 4, 3. Got all sorts of things marked for 8, 2 or 7. That has to be a 1 or a 9 in the box. Oh, there's something totally mind-blowingly obvious going on here. There can't be a really difficult step left. There just can't be. It's almost certainly going to be some look around, like those can't be the same as that. Yes, 8 is looking at that. There it is. That's a 6. That sort of thing anyway. Maybe more of that. 6 is in one of those two cells. Ah, and now that is looking at both of those cells are looking at that, so it can't be a 6. Wherever you put 6 there, that can't be a 6. That's a 5. That's really interesting. It's really clever, actually. That's not a 5. Now, 6s. We've got 6s in various positions. 1 there, and 1. I don't know what to do with those. Oh, that's become an 8. So that's not an 8. We've got an 8 in one of those two and an 8 in one of those two. I don't know what to do with those. It's a bit of a boring refrain now. These are, that is 3 or 7. Could be 3 in the corner. That's not a 5. This is very dull pencil marking stuff. Right, this can't be 7, 8, 3, 6, 4, 9 or 5. Because there's a 5 in one of those, so it's 1 or 2. So that's a 1, 2 pair in the central box with 8, 3, 6, 7. So that's 5 or 9. These others in the grey, which I've never used, are 4, 5 or 9. 2 is not there. The 2 in this row is here, and now I can do the white dot. It's 5, 4. Wow. Now I'm hitting all the wrong keys. Never mind. 2, 5. That's not a 5. I've got 1 and 9 possible there. That's not a 4. 4 in this central box goes there. Now I've got a 5, 9 pair, and I therefore get a 2 here. Something went wrong there. I was trying to do 2 there, 9 below, and then 5 there. Good. 9. Ah, it fixes that 1, 2 pair. Oh, the relief finally flooding over me as I get to the end of another puzzle. Hopefully there weren't any logical missteps here. There was just a lot of faffing around trying to work out what to do, but I'm used to that. That's my stock in trade. And I don't think this is an easy puzzle at all, by the way. It's a clever puzzle. It's a really rather brilliant puzzle, but easy it ain't. 4, 5 and 6 down here. Right, these two can't be 5, so they're a 4, 6 pair. 5 is there. 4 is here. We are finishing off now, I'm absolutely sure. 3 and 8 down here. They're both given in the row. 6 and 4 are resolved by sudoku. That puts 6 here. 9 here. 7 and 5. And we finish with 7 and 9. And that is fun, but this is a long video now. There we go. Happens sometimes. It's fun solving, but a bit tiring. Well done if you got through either or both of those puzzles logically better than I did. Thank you for watching as always. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.